Good morning. Good morning. So this video is about the first week in the NICU. So your baby's born. They take your babies. You may get the whole touch them. You may get to kiss them, but more than likely, they'll take them. They normally wrap them in some type of plastic that keeps them warm, and they take them up to the NICU. And if the dad is around, they'll take the dad so the dad can see where they are in the NICU. But mom won't get to see them for a while. I had a spinal, as you know, in the one of the other videos where I talked about my pregnancy. And so recovery was quick. And so they were like, when you can get up and walk to the wheelchair, then you can go up to the NICU. So the whole time I had them around 4:15, and so the whole time you just are attempting to move your body, move your legs so that you can get up and see your babies. So I had them around 4:15, and I didn't get to see them until around 11 that night. They took me up to the NICU. You have to scrub in for 3 minutes. And then you get to see them. And just depending on, when you had them, what their issues may be, will determine what you get to do when you get there. But just your emotions feel you when you see them, and they're all hooked up to all those wires, and they've got oxygen in, and it's amazing. And just a bunch of emotions just run through your head when you first see them, and you can't hold them. It's just a process, and so every milestone within is just amazing. You just celebrate every milestone because you look at where they came from, where you couldn't even hold them. All you could do is touch their little hands and fingers. They couldn't even really open their eyes to look at you. And so it's just amazing. So the whole first week, you can't have them in the room with you while you're still in the hospital. So you just make the best of your time while you're in the hospital, trying to get up there to see them. I went up there a lot while I was in the hospital. And then, of course, you get discharged and they're still at the hospital. So it's really an emotional roller coaster. But you just have to stay calm and know that they're being taken care of. And they're getting everything that they need so that they can come home and thrive. So the first week is very emotional. You don't really know what questions to ask. You don't really know what's really going on. They kind of give you the information, but it's hard to know what to do with the information. So as you keep going in the NICU, you learn a lot of things. You learn the process. You learn what things they are trying to do to get them growing. And so the first week they don't even really eat. I think they didn't get to start getting milk in their NG tube, which is like their feeding tube, until I want to say the 4th or 5th day they started them. And it's really, really little, like 5 mLs of milk at day 5, I think. And so before then, they just have a lot of fluids, and they get all their nutrition through like an IV, but it goes through their belly button, and they keep that for a little while. And so you can't hold them while they have that line in their belly buttons, because if it tugs or pulls, or anything like that, it could be very detrimental. And so you do a lot of research, but let me just tell you, Google is not your friend. Google is really not your friend. You can Google all you want to, but normally it's a lot of negative things, or like more things to make you be more worked up than you really need to. So your best friends are going to be your doctors, your nurses, and your nurse practitioners. Like those are your best resources for any question. Like, and don't be afraid to ask questions. I know in my first week I was like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I want to know all these things, but I don't really know what's a dumb question. No question is dumb because you don't know. So we asked every question that we could think of, all the way up to what each number meant on a monitor, what each line on them did, down to when things will get removed, what's the process. They can't really tell you like, well, they'll be out in such and such weeks, but to even just know what's the progression that they look for. Like, they try to start weaning them off of oxygen, they try to raise their food intake, they have to gain so much weight, just all the things you need to know that they're working towards. What's the goal to get them out of here? So the goal is that they get out their oxygen. The goal is that they bottle feed or nurse. The goal is that they're 4 pounds or 5 pounds, that they move out of their incubator into a regular crib. Like, those are the goals. So as you go from week to week, you'll start to see like how they progress to try to get them off of these different things. So the first week is very stressful. It's really a learning curve, but I would just suggest that you ask questions. Any question that pops into your head, write it down, so when you go there, you don't forget to ask. Call as much as you want to. If you call every hour or every 2 hours just to check on them, see how they're doing, whatever you need to do to help suffice yourself. Don't feel like you're being a bother. Don't feel like you're over the top or you're doing too much. Those are your babies, and you want to make sure that they're taken care of. So my biggest suggestion for week 1, which is like the most learning curve for you and the most emotional, like you want to learn stuff but you're just not sure, is to ask questions. No, there's never too many questions. So ask all the questions that you can think of that you can, to help you be able to understand what's going on with them. They're going to tell you a lot of stuff, a lot of things you're not going to understand. Just keep asking questions to help you understand them. Like, I would ask, like, even down to, okay, each number, like one is the heart rate, one is the oxygen, and then the monitors go off. Well, I want to know why the monitor go off. Well, if their heart rate goes above a certain number, the monitor goes off. If their heart rate goes below a certain number, their heart rate goes off. If their oxygen drops to a certain number, the monitor goes off. And you want to understand it, because although they're monitoring them, some things are like urgent and some things are like not so urgent, where they give them time to regulate it. And so you want to know those questions, because trust me, when you get in there and those screens are going off, you want to know why those screens are going off. Or you want to know, okay, the screen's going off, but there's no nurse coming over here. Why? Well, although we're monitoring that number, like if their heart rate goes to, say, 200, your monitor is going to go off, but normally maybe your baby's fussing or they're upset about something, so the heart rate goes up some. But now if the heart rate goes up to like 230, then your nurse is going to come, because that's a more concerning heart rate. And so I learned those things just for being in the NICU and asking all those questions. So week 1, my suggestion is ask questions. All right, and if you have any questions for me, you can always drop them in the comments, and I will be glad to answer any questions that you have about me or my journey, or the things that I've learned, or suggestions that you may want. Again, my twins were born at 29 weeks and a day, and they are now 6 weeks old. Hey, so y'all have an amazing day, and I'll see you later. Bye.